let me just copy this across. Tell everyone that I'm actually here. Right, there we go. So, another week. Today, we're at Daytona. This is going to be the 4th race out of 8 this season, so nearly at the halfway point. So far, it seems like Claus has a big championship lead in this tier. He's not in the top 3, though, I see. So that is an interesting outcome for qualifying. But yeah, it's going to be a good season so far. We've got some really good racing and still a long way to go. Let's go through the grid and who we've got. We've currently got Clyde in last place, which is a little bit of a strange one because he's also been on pole position and he didn't have like a qualifying ban or anything. 1.6 seconds off of the pole time for Clyde here in his AMG. There we have Spin, who has really struggled in qualifying this season in this old Supra. He's lining up 15th. He was 3/10 quicker than Clyde, but still quite a way behind. Then we have Yuri in 14th in the old Nissan, just half a tenth quicker than Spin there. So yeah, these old cars not really liking Daytona by the looks of things. The AMG should have been pretty good around here though, so maybe we'll see Clyde progress up. Then we have Zab in the M6, a tenth quicker exactly on the nose than Yuri. Expected a bit better from Zab. Then we have the first Lamborghini. Lamborghini isn't so good around here. Especially in the feature race, I think it's going to struggle. Bit of a disappointing qualifying there for Pasty. And then O'Leary actually out qualifying his teammate in the M6, but still not in the top 10. He was basically the top 11 were all separated by a second. So everyone's pretty close within the top 10 now. And it was outside of the top 10 that it started to, well, actually, to be fair, the top 15 all separated by 1.3 seconds. So it was a pretty close qualifying. Maybe some people benefited more from the slipstream than others. Captain Eli, who is in the championship fight, will be disappointed with 10th in the McLaren, especially seeing where his teammate has ended up. We can see at the top there. SD on his first race of the season in the Viper, which is probably the quickest of all the cars around Daytona at the moment. The Viper's been given buff after buff in recent updates, where the bop has changed. So, yeah, in P9, potentially could get some easy overtakes done here. Then we have Morrison. Morrison is in P8 in the old Supra, 7/10 off the pace here. So it is possible to get these old cars in the top 10 at a track like this. Then Hurricane, actually a bit of a better qualifying for Hurricane, even though the track doesn't call for it. And he always complains that this isn't one of his best race circuits. So actually top 7 isn't too bad, 6/10 off there. Then we have our championship leader. I'm pretty sure this is his worst qualifying of the season. So both AMGs not doing too good in qualifying, lining up 6th and 16th. 5th place is HBoss GT in the Jag. The Jag is super, super good around here. It's been given quite a few buffs. I personally think, on the balance of things, with BOP applied, the Jag is one of the quickest cars at these high-speed circuits. So I'm expecting it to be really strong here today. I'm expecting it to be really strong at Monza, especially without the chicane. But yeah, we'll wait and see what happens in the race. Then we have Wolsey in P4. Absolutely fantastic qualifying for Wolsey, who has struggled a lot this season to score some big points, but this is a good start for him. And his teammate Sargent, who has performed pretty well so far this season, is in 3rd. Then we have Tom Nitro in the other Jag, easily his best qualifying in ALR since he's joined by quite a considerable margin here in P2. He actually set 46.9, and that is 3/10 slower than what Musa has done. And this is Musa's 3rd pole in a row, and I don't think he's got any wins this season. So he's doing a bit of a Charles Leclerc this season. I just want to see. He did a 46.606. Let me get our data up. So that is some a pretty decent time. it was actually the 21st fastest time in the entire league in qualifying. So yeah, some pretty decent, solid qualifying pace there from Musa. But is he going to be able to actually convert it into a win? 3 pole positions, 0 wins. Let me just... Yeah, there we go. Right, let's get started then. Midnight start, grid start, expecting the Ferraris in P3 and 4 to be lightning as well as the Jag. Looks like Musa actually reacted well. Tom's on the outside and Sargent's actually coming through to take the lead. Looks like we're going to go 3 wide into turn 1. His teammate might be bumping him down into turn 1 as well. Both of the Ferraris on the inside line into turn 1. Nitro caught on the outside a little bit here. Are we going to have a Ferrari 1-2 coming out of turn 1? It looks like we are. So this is a fantastic start for the Ferrari team. Then we have Tom in 3rd, Musa 4th and H-Boss in 5th. As they all start bumping together. We got Claus in 6th, so the top 6 cars here all in the same 3 teams, which you don't really see very often in GT. Claus getting a great exit there. Looks like he's trying to get 1 position as the Ferraris look like they're just running away at the front there. Tom's got to try and keep up with them because he might get a chance on the straight to get an overtake done, because we know the Ferraris don't have very good straight line speed at the top end. Morrison looks like he's trying to get a move on H-Boss as well. H-Boss maybe going a little bit backwards here. And we've got Captain Eli up already to 8th, so that's up 2 positions. Let's see, I think we might have had an issue already. Well, yeah, what's happened to Dr. Esty? He just... Oh, I know what happened. He had a issue with his wheel, I think, and he's actually backed out of the season. So something's happened with Hurricane at the start as well. He thought that we were going to miss it. Very, very early on the brakes for Hurricane. And then God knows what he was doing, but he didn't leave enough space on the left, it looks like, for Captain Eli. Let's look at this one more time. So really early braking there, too early. Eli goes alongside. And then Hurricane kind of lifts on the braking. Doesn't really... I don't know what he was thinking, but it ended up backfiring anyway. Let's go back forward to the outfield section. So we've got Tom under a lot of pressure from Musa here. Musa having an absolutely terrible start from 1st to 4th. Is he going to be able to get past Tom and put the fight to the Ferraris? It looks like Tom's getting a bump here, and he's closed right up to the back of Wolsey. Having to go a little bit wide into the chicane there is Tom. But he gets a good exit there, and he might have a great chance of overtaking Wolsey. What's going to happen now is he's going to catch up to Wolsey on the banking, and as a result, he's opting to do the slipstreaming by the looks of it, and the bump drafting, because if you try to overtake on the high side, you just lose all of your momentum. So yeah, he's pushing Wolsey towards his teammate Sargent, who did create a nice little gap. Now Tom's trying to go round the outside into turn 1. Now, Wolsey does give him the space. Oh, Claus nearly wiped out Musa there. And Tom gets a bit of a poor exit. Musa tried to get alongside, nothing much he could do there. So Tom is going to cover him off. Musa goes for a little bit of a dive. Tom gets almost spun around. Claus gets both of them. And H-Boss is going to pass his teammate as well. That was a little bit of a dodgy move there. Pretty sure this is a dive bomb. Let's see. Yeah, he just braked too late, tried to go for the move, but didn't get the braking right at all, and misses the apex. That would be a bit of a penalty for Musa, I reckon, if that was reported. Pasty is now up from, I think he was 12th or something at the start. He's now 6th, so this is a great start for Pasty. Musa now getting a bit of a bump from Clyde, who's up into 8th from last as well. Hold on, something's happened with Clyde. Where did Clyde come from? Let's see Clyde start. Clearly, we missed something pretty good here. So, he's going to get... Well, SD did the false start there. So he gets Zab as well. And then into turn 1. Is he going to get a few people? I mean, Hurricane obviously is going to be overtaken here. Cars are getting in the way of each other. That is 4 positions straight off the bat there for Clyde. And then where's he getting the extra 2? On the, well, he's actually losing a bit of pace to Yuri here. So something's going to happen on the exit of this bus stop. Morrison's a bit out of shape. Eli looks a bit out of shape. Morrison, whoa! He's on the grass. Outside the top 10 now for Morrison. Eli's got himself a 1.5-second penalty, which is not what he wants when he is challenging for the championship here. And that is why Pasty and Clyde and probably a few other people are going to get past Eli here. Because 1.5 seconds on this straight is an absolute death sentence. Spin's going to get into the top 10 now as well. Okay. So a little bit further up into lap 2, we've got Yuri in the top 10, we've got Clyde in the top 10, up into 8th now, like we said. Pasty is up in 7th, and H-Boss shuffled down one position to P6. Then we have Claus, and then we have Musa, who's about to wipe out Tom, just like we saw previously. Everyone's going to get past. So let's go back forward to the outfield section again. So Pasty and Tom pretty much side by side here. H-Boss is going to give Tom some slipstream that he is much needed basically. Now what's Tom going to do? Is he going to bump draft H-Boss? If he does, he loses a little bit of momentum, and that brings Pasty back into it. But he doesn't really want to be challenging for position here. Still a Ferrari 1-2, then it's Mercedes, Jag, and Lamborghini here in this sprint race. Really late breaker there for Pasty. Has to completely bail out of it, loses that position back to Musa. I think he's going to avoid a penalty, but here comes Yuri as well. Yuri with a second penalty is going to drop him probably back down to where Eli is now. So let's see what's happening a bit further forward. We've got Tom and we've got H-Boss working together to try and stick with the top 3 here. This is definitely going to be Jaguar's best result, even if they finish as they are now. But it looks like they've got a little bit more pace. The Jag definitely has the acceleration and the top speed to keep up with these top guys, especially if they're both drafting each other. The pace advantage on all 3 ahead, as long as they can stick with them in the infield section, should be enough to see at least one of them get onto the podium here. But yeah, Claus looks like he's closing in on Wolsey now. Wolsey also having easily his best race of the season so far. His teammate of these people, these two, I think they're friends in real life, and his teammate is the one who's generally been the quicker of the two at every single race that we've seen. But it's nice to see him ahead of the rest of the field, that's for sure. Especially because Ferrari's not actually that good around Daytona, so them being in this position is a bit of a rare sight to see for the Ferrari. Excuse me. But onto the banking again. It looks like H-Boss is not doing that much to close in on Claus at this stage. Claus is actually closing in on Wolsey. A little bit further down we got Pasty comfortably ahead of Spin, and then we got Clyde and Zab in the top 10 now. Ooh, that maybe everyone was put really tight there, and it looked like Yuri got himself a penalty again. So Yuri having a really bad opening couple laps, getting a penalty at the chicane twice in a row. A little bit further forward, Clyde's got himself a penalty as well, so he's dropping back. This is important for the reverse grid. So Eli's back into the top 10. He's got ahead of Zab and Clyde there. Clyde made some good progress at the start. Looks like Tom has got past H-Boss, and now Moose is trying to get past as well. H-Boss is going to want to slow Musa down. He wants the pole set Musa. Tom has an opportunity to kind of create a bit of a gap if H-Boss can start holding up Musa a bit. And Tom's himself isn't far away from Wolsey. What happened to Claus? A 3.5 second penalty. Where did that come from? That bit's fine. Oh, there it is. And again. Okay. So it was both of the inside lines that got him that 3.5 second penalty, dropped him all the way down to 8th. So that promotes Tom all of a sudden into the podium positions, only behind the 2 Ferraris. We've got Musa and H-Boss battling a little bit behind as well. And what kind of lap times is everyone on? So everyone's solidly in the 47s, apart from Musa, who's in the 46s, by the looks of it. Claus did a 52 with that 3.5 second penalty. And then everyone a little bit further down is in the 48s and 49s. Yuri with another 52. And Sargent looks like he's absolutely running away with it now. Looks like he's got a pretty comfortable lead over his teammate. Tom closing in once again. I have a feeling Tom might go for a move here. If he nails this bus stop, he is going to have a run on Wolsey for sure. You can see the gap is shrinking down this part of the straight. Nice late braking. Bit late on the brakes on the exit there. But he is still close enough, I reckon, to get the move done. He is going quicker again. He's going to be in the 46s on this lap. And yeah, here we go. And you got H-Boss and Musa going side by side once again. And it looks like, I think someone had a penalty. I think it might have been Pasty losing that position to Claus. Tom's going around the outside into turn 1. Gets it done. And Musa's ahead of H-Boss as well. Looks like Eli's got ahead of Pasty with his penalty as well. And Tom braking really late here to make the apex, actually gets the car turned in really nicely. Wolsey is going to have to settle for P3 for now at least. But he's got Musa, he's got H-Boss pretty close behind. Spin is up in 6th, holding up Claus a little bit here. So Claus not having the best of races here. He was in the top 3, wasn't really troubling the Ferraris, and now he's down in 7th trying to get past the car who qualified 15th. So let's see, what can Claus do on the exit here? Takes a tighter line. You can take a multitude of lines on the exit of that corner, basically whatever the traction of your car allows. If you can take the tighter line without losing it, it's definitely worth doing. So what is Spin going to do? Is he going to defend? Oh, he's getting bump drafted. Claus wants to use Spin to try and catch up to the top 5 if possible. Something's happening a bit further up. Wolsey is under a lot of pressure from Musa now. And again, it's going to be the Ferrari struggling on the straight line speed, and depending on when Musa decides to go for the move, it might be another fairly easy one here. Looks like Musa's actually pushing him along instead. He doesn't want to go for the move quite yet. Unless he's going to chuck it into turn 1. I don't think he is. Wolsey's covering it off. And he loses it still. How does that happen? Right, let's see. Is he just way too cautious on the brakes? He is. And Musa's fully ahead before the turn-in. So, Wolsey is still going well for him, but he's outside of the podium positions now. He's got H-Boss behind him now. Claus did get the move on Spin done as well. Where was that? I think this is going to be a pretty straightforward... Oh, actually, he manages to get himself on the inside line. That is the line you need to protect with your life if you want to avoid getting overtaken, because look how easy it is to get the move done on the inside of any part of the oval section. Claus gets it done into turn 1. Up into 6th, that's an extra point or 2 on the board for Claus in his quest for the championship. He's still beating Eli. Eli is struggling down in 9th, got overtaken again from Pasty after briefly getting in front of him. Zab has reverse group pole. And then, yeah, Hurricane's still struggling down in 15th after his issue at the start. So what's going on at the front? We've got Sargent lapping in the low 47s. We've got Tom lapping pretty much identically here, with 4 laps to go. Then we have Musa, who's finally got through the traffic by the looks of it, just ahead of Wolsey. Wolsey's not letting him get away, and Wolsey can really use some of this slipstream to protect himself from H-Boss down in 5th place here as well. Because that Jag isn't going to need too many attempts to get his way up the grid, that's for sure. Looks like it's going to be H-Boss's best result in Tier 3 this season, in this sprint. I think he won a race last season in Tier 3, but I think it's fair to say that this season Tier 3 is a little bit more difficult than last season, so some of these drivers are not getting the results that they did last season, the ones that have stayed in Tier 3. Here we go, this is the run he needed. Again, what's Wolsey going to do? Is he going to be defending his inside line? He's left a bit of a gap, and H-Boss decides to go the long way around anyway. The gap was definitely there to try and dive it down the inside, but he didn't do so. Wasn't needed anyway. He is fully ahead. That Jag is super quick around tracks like this. And H-Boss might try and catch Musa here and make it a double Jag podium. So Wolsey down to 5th, but he's got a bit of a gap to Claus. Claus has left Spin. Spin is getting caught a bit by Pasty. And then everyone else is kind of fairly evenly spread out. We've got the 2 BMWs in 10th and 12th here, with Morrison in between them both. I think Morrison's in the old Super as well. And Clyde recovering from his issues, still in 13th. And Yuri's just having an absolute nightmare in last place. So on that previous lap, Sargent did a 47.5 compared to a 46.9 for Tom. That is Tom's fastest lap of the race, 6/10 quicker than Sargent, and he can definitely catch, and he's going purple on Moose's time here, can definitely catch Sargent and potentially win this sprint race. Let me just double check. I don't think Sargent has won a race this season. And Tom definitely hasn't won a race this season, so either way we're getting a new race winner for the season here. I think Sargent won last season twice, and Tom hasn't won in ALR so far here. Very solid car, this Jag. If you already think about next season, well, you might have seen that there was no BOP update this week, so it's fair to say that the season is ending with the exact same BOP settings that we have now, and there's only one opportunity for a potential BOP update before the next season begins. I was saying in the chat yesterday, I think, that there's 3 cars that are head and shoulders above the rest on the majority of tracks. I think the Jag is one of them, the Ferrari certainly is, and the AMG as well. And they're the ones that have been at the top for most of this race, apart from Musa in his McLaren. The rest of the top 6 are all those 3 cars. Of course, I think they'll all end. Oh, here comes Wolsey on H-Boss. H-Boss gives him the space. They're going to go side by side into the next corner. H-Boss is should be able to cover this off. And it looks like he has covered it off fairly well there. Wolsey's going to stay in his slipstream, but it might not be enough, you know. Then we have Claus. Big gap to Spin. Pasty. Eli's getting a little bit closer to Pasty as time goes on. Let's see if Eli is going to go for the move. He's running out of time. Oh no, he's completely lifted there. Oh, Pasty is super laggy. That's insane. Poor Eli. There's not much he can do about that. You can't really go for a move when someone's lagging all over the place like that. Got a 3-way fight for P4 though. Wolsey looks like he has a bit of a run on H-Boss, and Claus, it looks like he's got more speed than both of them together here. So H-Boss is protecting the inside. Looks like Wolsey gave him a little bit of a bump, so Claus is going to go on the inside of Wolsey, who doesn't want to give that position up at all. Gets that corner quite wrong and comes out much worse than the other two, and they're just going to carry on and start battling each other as a result of that. H-Boss going to have to go defensive now. This is the final lap. Claus could potentially get himself in the top 4 after a pretty anonymous race so far, but H-Boss is going to try his best not to let that happen. Looks like Pasty and Spin are having a little battle as well. Pasty trying to get that one last position after nearly getting overtaken from Eli. Looks like his lag has stabilized a little bit. Oh, they both go incredibly deep here. Is Eli going to be able to capitalize? Not quite yet. A little bit further up, Wolsey's just dropped off the back of these two, but Claus is in slipstream range for sure. of H-Boss, and then you can see the top 3 just a little bit further ahead, all fairly evenly gapped, so barring any kind of massive mistake at the bus stop, I think Sargent might have this one sort of. And H-Boss is getting caught here from Claus. He needs to nail this bus stop. Oh, Claus is closing even more. But he's a bit too close. He's a bit too close. We're on the bendy section. Like I said, you can't really go wide here. You have to just kind of bump draft a little bit and see and get the overtake done on the line potentially. Let's go all the way to the front because Sargent is going to cross the line to take his first win of the season ahead of Tom in P2. Definitely his best result in ALR. Musa is in third. H-Boss just holds off Claus. Walsey comes in P6. Got a 3-way fight for P7. Captain Eli actually makes it ahead of Spin and Pasty. Morrison gets reverse grip pole. He managed to get Zab at the end, who finishes 11th. Clyde gets 12th. O'Leary 13th. Hurricane is in 14th. And then Yuri is some way off at the end. But let's just have a little replay of what happened with Captain Eli here, because he's in 9th place. Remember, he's in the championship hunt. Pasty is defending the inside like he should. Looks like Eli helped bump Spin past Pasty, and then he just gets him right at the line. That must have been absolute milliseconds between all 3 of them there. But Eli got an extra few points on that last home stretch. Now he's going to have to do it all over again in the feature. Yeah, the Ferrari is rubbish on the straights. So far this season we've not had to really use 6th gear. And you won't have to use it next week, so it should be strong again next week. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of cars that just get overtaken on straights. It's just the most depressing thing when you can drive absolutely perfectly and someone else can just overtake you because they have a car with a better engine. So yeah, I try and avoid those cars, but it's clearly working well for a lot of people this season. Cars like the Ferrari. I mean, I'm saying that the Nissan's got a horrible 6th gear as well. Just have to rev out as much as you can if the car allows you to. Then you got cars like the Corvette, which is like you go into 6th gear when a load of cars are still in 4th gear, and it just keeps going faster and faster and faster. Okay, feature race. Lots of different strategies potentially at play. There's only one that's good, and it's for the cars that can make the medium soft work. Anyone who tries to do 2 stops is going to finish outside the top 10 for sure. The MR cars are at a huge disadvantage here because they are going to probably have to do hard medium. Apart from the McLaren should be able to do medium soft because of the way it behaves. The Ferraris and the Lambos are going to have a horrible day in this feature race, I reckon. Especially because they're not starting near the front as well. It'll be difficult for them to stay at the front. So we got, yeah, hard for the Lamborghini, hard for the Ferrari, hard for the Ferrari. Pasty's going on mediums to start with, so maybe he's doing the medium hard strat. Everyone else I would expect to do medium soft, but let's see what happens. So I think it might be worth joining on board with our championship leader to start, because he's on the mediums, Walsey's on the hards. He'll need to get past him pretty quickly, or the top 4 could potentially start creating a gap. Everyone really careful into the first corner. It looks like everyone's actually making it as well. We see behind. Yeah, not much to report there. Oh, what the hell? I was too busy looking behind that I missed someone absolutely butchering the exit of turn 1. So Spin's a little bit wide on the entry, but and then Eli makes contact. Oh dear. And then Walsey makes contact, and then Claus makes contact with him. Okay. So Spin's really messed up there. Tom's had a pretty good start up into 6th. Yeah, Spin's all the way off at the back. What a horrible start to that race for Spin, eh? I think... yeah, let's watch it. Musa! What's happened to Musa? I think he wasn't. I think I know. He wasn't ready at the start of the race. Okay, I wanted to watch the replay of spin. So let's watch it again. So to be fair, Spin's made a bit of an error here. He goes really wide. And then he's trying, I don't know what he's trying on the outside of Pasti. Makes a bit of contact with Pasti, loses space. Then Eli's suddenly there, then Wolsey's suddenly there, and then Claus finishes the job. So that's 4 drivers who he had some contact with. And then he ended up getting reset to track as well. Let's see what's happened a bit further up. O'Leary getting a bit of mistake on the exit of that corner. He's getting overtaken by Hurricane, and actually Yuri, who was just completely out of it. So yeah, bit of a shame at the start there for O'Leary, because Hurricane's on the hards and taking that corner very uniquely. Then we have, a bit of friendly fire between the Ferraris. Oh dear. Sargent down to 9th now. Behind his own teammate and behind Zab after a bit of contact there. Whoopsie. Then we have Tom up into 5th place. He's ahead of his teammate, and he's actually going to be chasing down Claus, who himself is chasing down Eli. So yeah, this was a great strategy for Pasti to do the medium hard already. It's paying off, I think, because he's with this very front group, and although there isn't like a big breakaway in terms of car performance, it is going to start happening. For example, we've got Clyde here getting another second penalty. I think he was getting played with these penalties in the sprint race as well, and that's going to promote Hurricane and Yuri, and probably O'Leary up as well. We've already got 2 cut off from the back, and going into turn 1 we've got Morrison still with the lead of this race, so a good little start here for a car that I think is going to have be really quick at the end of both of the stints in this race. This is interesting, right? So we've got this car, the Supra 97. It is being used by the team that's winning eSports at the moment. 2 of their drivers, FGR, have the old Supra as well, so there's definitely some rumblings going around that this is a decent car now. It's got great tyre wear, it's got pretty good fuel, I think it's got a good top speed. We're about to see. Let's see, let's join with Pasti and see. He's going to have to rejoin the slipstream here. He was trying a different line to get a run and it didn't quite work out. He's choosing not to go into the slipstream, not quite sure why. Maybe he doesn't want to go for a move yet? I don't know, this is a bit strange. So Morrison just retakes the racing line, takes the corner pretty beautifully, I've got to say. Oh no, that'll be a penalty for Morrison. He definitely went way too far on the exit. That's a second. Oh dear. And Pasti, with the tyre disadvantage, because he's going to have to go on the hards later on, is going to at least take the lead of the race here. He was going to probably take it anyway. Here come Eli and Claus into the top 3. What about Tom? Is he going to be able to catch him in time? I think he is, you know. He's going to have to go around the outside. Morrison brakes a lot later because he wasn't going as quick, but he goes way too deep. And Tom Nitro up into P4. Remember, he was in 2nd. So that means he started this race in 9th, and at the start of lap 3 he's already in 4th place. Oh! What's happened to Claus? Our championship leader. This is an unforced error if ever I've seen one. Nearly takes out Eli, manages to just get out of the way. And that's going to put Tom up again into 3rd after I've been singing his praises for getting up into 4th there. And then Zab, Wolsey, Sargent, everyone's getting through. Sargent making it past his teammate again after Wolsey kind of putting him off there. And Claus outside the top 10, behind some guys who are on hard tyres. This is going to be a long feature race, and these are some uncharacteristic mistakes for Claus so far this season. Hurricane is way too defensive into that corner. He's defending clear air, and it's costing him a bit of time. So we got Clyde in 12th, O'Leary in 13th. Well, maybe Clyde and his teammate can start bumping each other past some of these cars, especially the Lamborghini. Oh, what's Yuri doing? I wonder if that's a penalty. He technically went off the track, but I don't think you get one. If you do, oh, 1.5. That's an unfair penalty. But why are you off track? You know, why are you off track? Ferrari's good at everything but top speed. Yeah, I agree with that. Especially the starts. Ferrari might actually have the best starts in a sprint race. It's difficult in features though. I think Yuri's got into pause mode. He's not happy. He's worked his way up from last to 9th, and that's going to fall down again. Claw's at least going to get himself into the top 10. Him and Clyde are working together, and this should be fairly easy. Oh, they're not going to be able to line it up. They're not going to be able to line up the overtake into turn 1. They're just going to be stuck in this big train of cars, potentially for multiple laps here. Citroen pips the Ferrari. Yeah, the Citroen's really good on the start, and of course you got the Dodge Viper, which is amazing at the starts, and the Corvette. I think those might be the ultimate best ones, like where it's just like almost an unfair advantage. I mean, try starting Porsche alongside a Ferrari on a sprint race and see which one of them ends up in first at the end of the first lap and which one ends up probably outside. See, again, Hurricane defending clean air again. Right, let's see what's happening a little bit further forward. We've got Eli. Has Eli actually got... he hasn't actually got a win this season. Has Pasty. Pasty also hasn't got a win this season. So these two trying to get their first win. Tom hasn't got a win. Morrison hasn't got a win. HBoss hasn't got a win. Zab is the highest driver that has a win this season, and he's down in 6th. So it is looking at this stage, especially with Claus making the mistakes. Oh, talking of mistakes, here is Eli trying to avoid the penalty. I think that's good enough to avoid a penalty, but it wasn't quick. Pasty's going to have some breathing space here for sure. The Porsche starts 3rd gear. Yeah, it's just so bad. It's such a good car apart from the starts. If we did rolling starts for the sprint as well, maybe it would be it would have a little bit more success. And there's Captain Eli taking the lead of the race. Tom and Morrison look like they're about to overtake him fairly easily here as well. So Morrison back into the top 3. He's going to make it the top 2. He's going for the move on Tom Nitro. Eli's really wide there, so that's going to bring him back into the fray. And yeah, the top 4 very close together now. How is Claus doing? He's in 10th. He's still trying to get past Hurricane. His teammates dropped all the way back, so potentially Clyde had a penalty here. And Claus trying to go the long way around. He might actually get this stuck here. Open up the steering on the exit. Use that extra little bit of the width of tarmac that isn't technically the track. And he does at least get ahead of the driver on the hards. But imagine, Claus struggled that much to get past Lamborghini on hard tyres. He's going to struggle getting past the rest of these cars as well with that kind of struggling. I don't know. Right, here comes Zab on HBoss. Zab seems to be on a right little charge on these medium tyres compared to some of the other ones. And then you got Pasty right behind Tom Nitro up in 3rd as well. So yeah, Pasty falling back a little bit on the infield section. Oh, here he comes on the inside. Zab's left him the space. He's not going for it. He's going to be a little bit out of shape now, Zab, through this corner. He needs to get on the throttle super early here, which he does. But really, if I'm Zab, I'm bump drafting here. I don't want to overtake HBoss right now. I want to get up into that top 4. I mean, Zab's already won a feature race this season. He can definitely do it. He is going for the bump drafting. Pasty's struggling a little bit further ahead as well. He's trying to go for a move, but Tom is covering it off. And Pasty's gone a little bit deep there. And then a little bit further back, Zab didn't really go for the move on HBoss either. You can definitely tell they're closing the gap though. But is HBoss going to start holding him up on the infield section? A little, I mean, Zab's taking some interesting lines through these corners. Oh, he got a great exit there. Pyro's going nuts. Actually, there's a lot more bump drafting in this tier than when Pyro was doing his comps last season. Oh, H-Boss has gone deep. Zab's going to go for it for sure. That is the door wide open for Zab. Oh no. A great exit there for H-Boss around the outside of that corner though, and he's probably going to keep it again. We've seen H-Boss keep that position. And Zab's getting a great exit. No! Oh, he saved it, but now here comes Sergeant around both of them because that was just a super slow exit for both of them. Let's see how that looked from Sergeant's point of view. Look how far back he is at this stage, and he's going to easily overtake them. A little bit of contact right there, and then Zab. If I'm Zab, you know what? I would have probably just gone if I was Zab. I'd have just been like, I'll probably get 5 seconds on him by the end if I just overtake him now. But now they're both going to be stuck behind. The race winner, however, the Ferrari is on hard tyres, and they are stuck behind a driver on hard tyres now. And they're going to potentially be stuck when they're on softs behind a driver on medium tyres if they can't get him pretty quickly. Let's go on a little look and see if anyone gets a time penalty here. I think they all got away with it. Morrison trying to get his race lead back off of Captain Eli here. It might time... No, he's just a little bit too far back. Everyone's quite spaced out here. Sergeant's been overtaken somehow. How'd that happen? Are these guys... Oh, I reckon Zab's gonna bump draft H-Boss back past him as kind of penance for what happened earlier. Yeah. Good sportsmanship. Brutal for Sergeant. But, you know, that's the way it goes in Daytona. You can easily pick off these cars with the slow top speed if you work together with the other car that has better top speed. And you can fight that guy with the better top speed later on in the race once these kind of threats have been distinguished, because you can end up about 20 seconds ahead of these slow cars if you nail the kind of strategy and stuff. I'm going to call them slow cars. What I mean by that is the cars doing hard medium strategies. They're easy pickings. Well, yeah. I mean, this is definitely compensation against the Ferrari and against Lamborghini this race. We've had 3 rounds so far this season which have just been beautiful for MR cars, and if you've been in an FR car, you've pretty much struggled all season long up to this point. The FRs finally have a track that favours them, and the sprint was still won by a Ferrari. It ain't going to be won by an MR car this time round, I'm sure of it. Look at this. Morrison in the lead is an FR car. This old Supra obviously gets better tyres. Maybe they made more durable tyres in the 1990s. Then you have Eli with it is an MR car, but it behaves very much like an FR a lot of the time with its tyre wear as well. Tom's not too far behind, and I think Tom might have almost the best fuel as well. So he's got up here and he's definitely had to do some fuel saving, because we know the Jag is horrible on its fuel, and you have to do a bit of short shifting in the feature races, which means you can't really take advantage of the massive power that it's got. But if you're stuck in traffic, you can just save heaps of fuel. Here comes Eli on Morrison, trying to get that position back again. Not much it could do there. It is quite good staying on the outside into that corner. You wouldn't think so, because it's a bit of a hairpin. Definitely better to be on the inside of this one, though. And Eli is slightly there. He's going to stick his nose up, and he is, but he misses the apex, and he gets the position. That is not the best way of doing it. If you want to be doing that, you really need to nail the apex so that there's no question of any sort of protest, because you are getting into the whole, is it moving under braking, is it a bit of a dive bomb? Tom has caught up to both of them now as a result of that little fight. Morrison might actually get the position back straight away here. Yeah, it's an MR car with bipolar disorder. Yeah, I agree with that. So is the Porsche a little bit. Porsche's MR, but it doesn't It's not as extreme as the McLaren in how the tyres behave. Oh, here we go. That is a good line for Morrison here on the exit. But again, he's catching up to Captain Eli in the round section instead of the straight section. So he's just going to go for the bump draft. Not under too much pressure from Tom. And he's going for it again. Eli kind of left the door open a little bit there for him to just send it in the inside if he wanted to. And then again a little bit wide there for Eli, and Morrison is alongside, and he is ahead, and like I said, he's got the outside line for this corner, which worked out well for him on the last lap. He leaves a lot of space for Eli here, and they are going to come out again side by side. Tom's still trying to catch up to them and get into the fight here. God, this battle's going on for quite a while. Here we go, here comes Tom. Eli a little bit deep there on that braking zone. Tom a little bit slow on the acceleration. You got Pasty in fourth, dropping off of the back of this battle now. Remember, he was really in the hunt here. Looks like Claus is getting past Zab as well. Zab on the inside line here. Claus not really... Oh, he nearly kind of clipped Zab on the turn-in, but got away with it and is up into sixth. He's got Sargent in fifth now to try and get past it. Wolsey's in eighth. So nice little group of four here. Quick drivers. Then we have Spin in ninth, H-Boss and Hurricane on his hards in 11th. You've got Clyde in 12th, Yuri bumping him, and then O'Leary's cut off at the back a little bit here. So where is the battle? It's going to be here. Claus is going to get Sargent, isn't he? Tom shot. Yeah, what Tom's doing is basically what Mortal did in Tier 2 Blue last season when he won the championship by 100 points. Something that I wasn't able to do with the Jag, because I needed to use all of the pace of the Jag and the features to kind of keep up with everyone. But Tom doesn't need to do that to keep up with the top two. They're battling. Oh, I thought Claus was going to hit the invisible wall there, but managed to avoid it. And he gets the position of Sargent. Sargent's a little bit deep, but Zab went deep as well. Zab's lost two there to Wolsey and Spin by going deep. So Ferrari 6 and 7 currently on the hard tyres. Not actually doing that badly. 3 of the top 7 are on hard tyres right now. Oh no, they're not, 2, because Pasty's actually on the mediums. Right, let's have a look at his short shift. To be fair, he is actually, what is that, 3/4 that he's going up, maybe 2/3? Mortal was doing half shifting, which, you know, was a bit mental. But look at that, with the 3/4 shifting, he's still catching up to Captain Eli, who, yeah, you can't really do short shifting in the McLaren, you lose way too much time. And then on the exit, yeah, Eli got a beautiful line through that corner, so he's not going to be under any kind of pressure at the moment. Pasty is... he's in the 48s. He did 50 or 49 and a 48. But he's doing alright. Claus is trying to catch up to him now. Sargent and Wolsey might be able to work together. Wolsey's doing phenomenal in this feature after falling back a little bit at the start of it. Yeah, Pasty can't afford to... No, dear! All that good work Pasty done at the start of the race. He's lost about maybe 2.5, maybe 3 seconds there in that turn 1. And away go the top 3. I love this camera angle, by the way. It's good for the gaps to see how they're all doing. And it's only the top 12. O'Leary is still in there. Hurricane's in for his stop, so I guess he's going to try and do 12. Oh, well, it would actually be 13 on the mediums here. He'll get a nice undercut, but yeah, it's not been a good round here for Hurricane. Morrison, our Tier 4 champion from last season, is doing a very solid job here. Definitely has the pace to win races in Tier 3. He's showing it here. He's kept Eli behind pretty nicely. This could be his first win at the Tier 3 level. I think he had a podium in Suzuka, so he's been on the podium already at Tier 3 level. Joined 2 seasons ago, only raced a couple of times in Season 17. I'm pretty sure that was in my tier as well. Didn't set the world light, but then won in the old AMG, the AMG 16 in Tier 4 last season, and now he's trying to do it again in an unconventional car in the old Supra from 1997, the GT500. Getting caught a little bit now from Eli. And then Tom's struggling a little bit. See, Tom's got this dilemma here, because he might need to use a little bit more of his fuel to catch back up. We've got the rest of the hard runners in the pits now. Yeah, what's going to happen here? These guys do have a pretty solid lead, these top 3. I would be surprised if anyone else finished in the top 3 at this point, apart from these 3. Tom getting his first ever podium in the sprint race is about to repeat that feat by the looks of things. Pasty is going on to the hards pretty soon, so I don't think he's going to be finishing in P4, but what he can do, look at the rear tyre on that, that is sad. He's going to have to come into the pits on this lap. Let's stick with Claus, because if Pasty tries to get an extra lap out of these mediums, it's going to be a very unfortunate time for him. Bit short shifting there for Claus into 5th. Not actually interested in a move at the moment. Maybe he knows Pasty's going to have to come in a bit earlier. Pasty's defending clean air again. Right. We are at the crossover point for the guys doing medium soft as well. Depends on who's feeling the bravest on their tyres. So will we see an early pit from any of the top 3 to try and get an undercut? I think Eli might struggle to come in now because of his rear tyres. I think Morrison can comfortably stay out, and I think Tom can comfortably stay out as well. So I think it's going to be Pasty. Pasty carries on! This is a mistake. Let's ride on board with Claus. Pasty a little bit wide into turn 1 because his tyres are pretty much destroyed at this point. And everyone actually carried on again, okay. No one feels super brave on the softs then. The thing is, Claus tyres are pretty destroyed as well. And they are both on the mediums. Pasty's are a little bit worse though, look at that rear right. It's less than 10% I would say. Oh, and he's gone too deep. Can Claus actually take advantage? I don't think he can, so this is just going to hold up Claus even more. And who's got more fuel? Claus has slightly more fuel. He has been short shifting, which you've seen. Because again, the AMG doesn't have the best fuel when you are pushing flat out as well. You do have to do a bit. But the thing is with the AMG is you can short shift. It doesn't penalise you that much. You could do the whole race short shifting and not really lose much time on your ultimate time in terms of outright lap pace. So how can Pasty do this final chicane before he comes in? Surely he's pitting on this lap. A little bit all over the place, but still keeps himself ahead of Claus. What, Pasty, if Pasty goes onto the softs, I mean, he knows he's going into the pits now. What's Claus going to do? Pasty can't do 10 on the softs. I don't believe it. He's going to go on the hards now. He just has to. So through goes Spin, through goes Clyde, and Zab. No one else is coming into the pits right now. No one else even considering doing softs for that length of time. Now we've got Sargent He's got a bit of a lead on Wolsey, and Hurricane is in last place. These guys are all made their pit stops. So let's see where Pasty comes out. Pasty should be on the hards. He's going to be the only one in this second half of the race on the hard tyres. Ooh, a little bit of a wall bump there. So he's putting in the fuel. I think he's going to lose out to Sargent and Wolsey here. He's coming out of the pits now. Let's see. Oh, well, here comes Sargent. He is ahead. He is behind Sargent. He's actually comfortably ahead of Wolsey. But like I said, he has come out onto the hards like I thought. That Lamborghini is going to have a little bit of pace at this start of this stint compared to the guys at the front. So he might get track position on one or two people, but they're all going to be on the softs and he's going to be on the hards. It's going to be very miserable now for Pasty. Maybe even keep inside the top 10 in this feature race. I reckon if he can get a top 5, he's had a phenomenal second stint here. Remember, he was in P4 before the pits started, sorry. So he got undercut there by Sargent. And Sargent should be able to drive away from him as well. Everyone else very close together here. Are we going to start seeing some pits? Morrison's coming in. Eli's carrying on because he wants to do the soft strategy on his MRs. So he's got to make these these mediums last as long as humanly possible. Claw's carrying on as well. So this is good for Morrison. This is really good for Morrison because he's going to get a nice undercut on everyone who was behind him. Sab goes through as well. And Morrison should still be out comfortably ahead of Sargent, I reckon, as well. Let's join with Sargent. He is maybe 2 or 3 seconds ahead of Pasty, maybe even 1 actually. So let's find Sargent again. There we go. Morrison's already coming out. I think Morrison's going to be comfortably ahead. But Sargent might be the net P2 as it stands. Still waiting for Eli and Nitro to come in, who should be ahead, still come out ahead of him. But yeah, Morrison has a big gap to Sargent, and he's got loads of clear air as well on his fresh softs to build up a nice lead over Captain Eli here. So he's got a huge gift at the start of this second stint to kind of create a gap if he can hold on to it. Now Spin's come out just behind Wolsey here. Spin on the racing softs as well. Makes a little bit of contact with Wolsey. Now unfortunately for these guys, Wolsey, Sargent and Hurricane, who's just behind Spin as well, even though they're on a faster compound now, they're still on a slower compound than everyone around them apart from Pasty. In comes Eli, in comes Tom. Tom actually had more fuel than Eli. We know how good the McLaren is on fuel. Wolsey going defensive on his mediums. Now this is going to be a bit hairy for Spin because he's got way better grip through a corner like this. Weird going on hards for the second stint. It's impossible, I think, for the Lamborghini and the Ferrari to do softs, so they didn't have much of a choice. Let's join back with Sargent anyway. Actually, no, let's stick with these because it's about to get an overtake done for sure. It's turn 1. And then we'll see what the gap looks like between Eli and Morrison. Wolsey going very defensive here. It looks like the top 3 have stayed the same coming out of the pits. Spin trying everything to get this position. He's actually going to try and get Clyde as well here. This is super important for him and for Wolsey, who makes a bit of contact there. Going 3 wide into that little corner. And yeah, Spin's up in 7th, Wolsey's 8th, and Clyde's in 9th there. At the front, it looks like maybe 3 or 4 seconds is the gap now. But remember, for the whole rest of the race, Eli's going to have better, well, fresher tyres at least, unless he wears them a little bit quicker than Morrison. He's still pretty much the exact same gap ahead of Tom, but the key difference here at the start of the second stint is Eli's not going to be able to benefit from any slipstream, and he's got a Jag with a very powerful engine who's might get the move done sooner rather than later. He's probably got a get out of jail free card. You might have heard Tom's tyres sliding through the middle part of that chicane, losing himself maybe half a second there on Captain Eli. Sargent in 4th, Claus is in 5th, still stuck behind the Ferrari. The Ferrari's on the mediums as well, and Claus is on the soft, so really Claus should end up getting past him at some point in these next few laps. It's just a question of how much time is he going to lose. And the answer is, well, it might be about to start happening here. Claus is going to have to be patient because some of these braking zones is going to have a huge... Oh, never mind. He's just made a huge mistake. Pasty still doing a pretty solid job here on his hard tyres considering everyone else is on the soft. Spin hasn't caught him yet. Spin's going purple on his lap here. I'm expecting some 46s to come in now that everyone is on their soft tyre. Anything interesting happening a bit further down? H-Boss trying to get past Hurricane. H-Boss a big loser at some point, dropping all the way outside the top 10. It's looking really comfortable for Morrison. Tom is going to start closing the gap again here, and as is Claus, but let's stick with this battle for P2. Tom definitely on course for a 46 lap here. Now he needs to get a much better exit than he did on the previous lap. It was just okay. Not going to be trouble in Captain Eli, I don't think. But this, on the other hand, well, it looks like Sargent's just opened the door for him. What is that? You could have got some bump drafting going on and maybe gone a second further up the road. But he's just decided to give the position back. Or away, rather. And Claus is up into P4. He's got maybe 5 or 6 seconds to try and catch the podium positions. Definitely catchable for Claus. There we go. There's Claus and Sargent. Pasty at the head now of a bit of a train since he's on his hard tyres. No one's got past him yet. And everyone down to Hurricane might end up catching him. Let's ride on board now with Spin. Had to overtake Wolsey already. Now he's got Pasty in front of him. Pasty doing some indicating. Now, in theory, Spin's exit from that corner should have been so superior that he would be comfortably ahead before the braking zone. Because he's on the softs, he's gonna be able to bring more speed around that corner here. Even though it's flat out, the softs still give you a much bigger advantage. Now he is going for the move, actually. Pasty gave him the space, and to be fair, softs versus hards, it's a no-brainer to make a move like that if you're in Spin's position. So Spin up into 6th, which is, again, he's doing much better in the feature races, getting through the pack than he is in qualifying and the sprints so far this season. Clyde is going to be the next one to try and follow him through. Claus with the fastest lap now of 46.818. Immediately beat by Claus. I'm sorry, ignore me. He just said it. Clyde tried to go around the outside there. Goes a little bit too deep. Pasty's going to keep the position. They're going to go side by side into the next corner. And Pasty gets fully ahead there. Wolsey battling for his life against Zab now, who's going to try and take that P9 away from him. And a little bit deep again for Zab, and Wolsey gets that position back. So yeah, some good racing up and down the grid here. Pasty again going defensive into this hairpin. Clyde's going to try and take a better exit here, but Pasty just puts his car in the way and Clyde can't go anywhere around that corner. What about a bit further up? What is the battle for P2 looking like? Again, I feel like Tom is just one good chicane away from getting P2 here. The thing is, some people, especially at tier 3, some people, yeah, that's not a good chicane. He's too tight. He's way too tight. He's not taking enough speed through the chicane. You need to take a lot more speed in, kind of brake whilst you're turning the car around, and get on the throttle as early as humanly possible. Basically, halfway around the chicane, you want to be starting to apply the throttle to get the best speed for the home stretch. Yeah, Tom wasn't able to do that, and even though the Jag is stronger, Eli not under any threat or any pressure at that point. So Pasty is still ahead of these guys because Zab and Wolsey are having a huge battle here. So, oh, Wolsey. Oh, no. That is the, that is not the right way of getting up to speed quickly, but hey-ho. It was going well, but a little bit of a mistake can completely ruin your whole feature race there. The Stroll rejoin. Almost. He didn't actually make contact with anyone, so I don't think we'll label. I don't think anyone in ALR is quite like Lance Stroll in many ways. So Zab is finally catching up to Pasty now, but look at his tyres. He's starting to approach 50% wear rate. He's got way more than enough to keep the pace advantage over Pasty though. This is some good damage limitation so far for Pasty, I say, as he's gone very wide. Now, this is maybe the one time that, oh dear, he went a little bit too wide there. So not only did he lose time, he's got himself a second and a half penalty. There's a huge gap behind him, but I do think those two cars behind are going to take him. Goodbye to Zab. And something has happened at the front. Are we going to see a mistake here from Morrison? Oh, he's hit the tyres! Oh, no! No, that was a good rejoin. He's completely lost his podium, though. Oh, man. 3 laps to go. All you have to do is not make a mistake here, and a little bit. Let's see how close he is. Yeah, look at that. The angle. That ain't good. I mean, I feel like we've all done that at some point, haven't we? Even BX has done that. But not many of us have done it from first place with 3 laps to go. Your wheel won't reverse. That's you need to fix that. Surely you can map a reverse button or something. Okay, so now we have an interesting battle because Tom has been, like I said, one good chicane away from overtaking Eli for the entire second stint, and he's just not really managed to nail that hairpin yet. Not hairpin, chicane. Eli's rear tyres are struggling, but I think they're still going to be fine for the rest of the race. Tom is in slipstream at the moment. He's been lapping solidly in the 47s. Actually, Eli's fastest lap is a little bit quicker as well. So, is this going to be it? Oh, it looks a little bit better. again, Eli was better on the exit. Tom had a really good entry, but was a little bit hesitant on the exit there. He still might be able to get a move done into turn 1 despite the gap if he stays exactly within the slipstream. Now that they're in 6th gear, the McLaren isn't good at 6th. Eli's doing his one move, which he's allowed. And 2 laps left for Eli to try and excuse me, get his first race victory of the season here. It is going to go right to the wire for sure. Clauses looks like he's guaranteed at P3. Eli really wide round there. So that's turn 1 and turn 3 that Eli was a bit wide around. So not a good lap, and he might be punished for it. Oh, Tom's on the grass. He's going to have dirty tyres now as well. That is a very welcome sigh of relief for Captain Eli. He gets away with it, and he's going to, wow, really drive away there. Tom is losing his head a little bit here. He had the opportunity to get P1 right at the end, and he's probably a second behind right now. And again, a little bit twitchy on the exit is Tom. So this might be it for Eli, unless he has an absolute nightmare between now and the end of the race. His tyre might struggle though. Look at that rear right. Now, he's going to really struggle around here. Let's join. This is not a good corner for worn rear tyres. He makes it through. Tom definitely had a good run through there as well. So it is going to come down to the final lap. Tom will be getting a very faint slipstream, which will get stronger and stronger down here because he will have better speed. Yeah, he's got pretty much the same speed despite being a couple of seconds back of Captain Eli, or maybe just a second at this point. Final lap. Tom lost 2 seconds on his quickest lap there. First corner, quite successful there for Captain Eli. Good exit there as well for Tom. Tom definitely got a better exit than Eli. Very tricky corner here. The exit is so important. A little bit deep there from Tom. You can get away with it though, because there is that little bit of tarmac to save you. Solid first sector. Every corner, it looks like Tom is getting a bit closer. Oh, again, just too late on the acceleration out of that corner for Tom compared to Eli. And again, that looked like a better acceleration out of there. And that means Captain Eli is 1 chicane away from his first victory of the season. Hugely important in terms of the championship fight, to try and finish as high as he can. Into this final chicane. Pretty solid entry. Oh, pretty solid exit as well, to be fair. Was that a penalty? It was! Right, let me show you. Because this is a crucial penalty, exactly where it went wrong. So on the entry, that's absolutely fine. That is, of course, absolutely fine. That is also fine. But we're going here. And I think it might have been a frame or two earlier, but he'll have had all 4 of his tyres on the white stuff there. And that will result in the ultimate penalty for Captain Eli, which I think he will have been swearing massively, massively here to lose with the second penalty on this final lap. He's surely losing P1. He should keep hold of P2 quite comfortably. And Tom is going to overtake him and take his first ever win in ALR in the Jag in the feature race in Daytona. Almost a perfect day for Tom, getting the P2 and P1 in the 2 races. Captain Eli, fairly decent night for him, but he'll be super disappointed with P2 there. Claus in 3rd and Sargent in 4th. Morrison in 5th in the end ahead of Spin. Zab is taking 7th. Clyde in 8th. Pasty on his hard tyres does finish in the top 10, finishes 9th ahead of Hurricane. H-Boss is out of fuel, finishes 11th. Could have been a top 5 for H-Boss for sure. O'Leary in 12th, not really had the pace here today. Wolsey is in 13th after his issue at turn 1, and Yuri once again is going to be finishing in last of the finishers, and we had another DNF as well. I can't remember who that was. So that was a really good race. Claus is in the lead of the championship. He's never finished outside the top 6. He's got a 39-point lead on Captain Eli, 57-point lead on Sargent, 58-point lead on Pasty. You got Hurricane, Musa, Spin, Zab, Tom Nitro, and Morrison rounding out the top 10. The constructors is a lot closer. We've got Mercedes on 186, McLaren on 177, and Lamborghini on 158. So it looks like a 3-horse race between them. Next race, we're back in Europe. We're in Sardinia B, the short low-speed track. So this had high-speed bop. Next week's gonna have low-speed bop applied. So we might see another little shuffle in the order for the drivers. But yeah, let's see what happens then. Thanks for watching.